Right, another one in this UFO series. This time we're talking about health. How do other planets keep everyone healthy? This is very complicated. At the moment, on this planet, we wait for somebody to be ill and they either go to the doctors or to the hospital. Whereas they, obviously, we're going along the lines now. Prevention is better than cure. So let's have a look at the subjects. What goes into our bodies? Okay. Food. Okay. What was the background of how we got to this body? Is the next thing, because if you can carry that on, obviously genetically you can change. So what you do, you either carried on, like for instance the man used to go hunting, so he used to have to be able, he used to be tall and have to run and be strong, whereas the lady stayed at home, looked after the cave and did the cooking. Now this has all changed now, because we've all got the same brain. The only parts that are different is pretty obvious. So you know, we're all human. Women are the same as men. So basically now we will never get away from the fact that we're all the same. So you'll have to, the other thing is genetics. We have to get hold and know how our genes work. Now they've mapped all the genes, because most of the cures on these other planets are genetic rather than, like for instance, you can go and get your genes mapped and they say to you, oh, you're susceptible to cancer, you might get this, you might get that. Well, you can genetically engineer all that out. Okay? Food, at the moment we just eat, and occasionally you might get all your vitamins. Occasionally you might spend 3 weeks not getting one particular thing because you've gone onto a food fad that, you know. So in their worlds, nearly everyone, or pretty much the ones I was shown that are like us, where they go to places to eat, sometimes they eat at home, you know, like that. Food, everyone's got the mobile device, as we've already talked about. The device knows what you've bought, or bought in inverted commas, because there's no money. So you've gone into the what might be a supermarket, or had stuff delivered, or had a takeaway delivered. This knows about it. So it knows each individual item, what vitamins and whether it's good for you or bad for you, or you should cut this out or do that, and it builds up all the minerals and things and all the vitamins that you've had. So you can see one's a bit low, and you click on that and it says maybe you should eat more of this and get the levels up. So the chances of there's now less chance of being ill due to not having something in your body, because some people who are deficient in some things, they'll get pneumonia, or they'll get, you know, it's all different anyway. But food is a big thing. Once you've got the food sorted and you've got all your levels up, that cuts out a lot of disease. Prevention better than cure. Genetics change some of the susceptibility to diseases. That's not a problem. Genetics. Now the actual hospitals themselves, what I saw, or what they said that happens is, when you've got a particular disease, because the transport system's so quick, you go from what will be even straight there. If you've got a headache or something, you go to the Centre of Excellence for Headaches, and they'll diagnose and they'll send you to the other Centre of Excellence or whatever. But the Centres of Excellence for every single disease, basically. Some of them have been cut out completely. There isn't any. So just say, for instance, you've I can't think of anything because a lot of the things were cut out. Just say you had liver failure. You're very unlikely to get liver failure because your mobile device will say to you you're drinking too much alcohol or whatever, you know, or whatever. I don't know the ins and outs of medical, so I don't know. But hospitals built there. Diagram I was shown. Ideal situation. Indoor. Okay. Reception area. Decides what you've got. Here's all the wards. If you need a bed, you'll go into one of those. Male, female, child, whatever. I'm going to take that off because I need the space. That's health, Project X, project-x.org.uk, get that dot on the end, for any lengthy questions. Then there's the outgoing. So you've got an indoor and an outdoor, and wards for treatment or whatever, and this is department, so the building could be any shape or whatever, as long as you've got the indoor and the outdoor. Now they don't let you out until you're cured, basically. So now, if there's a lot of influx, they just build another ward on the end. We don't. We go without beds. We put people in corridors, which is absolutely a money thing again. See, haven't got enough money. But money's out of the question here. Somebody comes in. Say, for instance, the hospital's empty. There's lots of people in there. Somebody comes in. You can go to different jobs. If the hospital's not very busy, you can do whatever you've passed courses for on your mobile. You can bring the jobs up and go and do those. So even if there's nobody there, you've got something to do. Or because you get free food, accommodation, transport and entertainment, you just go home. You're not going to starve to death. The kids aren't going to starve to death because you haven't got a job. Now, job comes in, your mobile beeps, oh, got to go to the hospital. Go to the hospital, enter that person, assess them, make sure they've got the disease that your wards deal with. They go into the wards. You might need a few more nurses. They get called in, yeah, okay. This is only if there's one person, mind. Most places, like we know, will be running constantly. And they're cured, and out they go. Now, all those people have come, I'll say a percentage closer, because there's no fixed units, come a percentage closer to going to their centres of excellence they've chosen. I.e., if they want to go on, sit on a beach, that's a centre of excellence for holidays. If they want to go drive a Ferrari, they go to the centre of excellence for Ferraris, which will have Ferrari Museum, every single Ferrari, a Ferrari factory. If we've got high-speed transport, just go straight to Italy. Hour, you know. And then however many days you want to spend there. Have a hotel, all your food, everything is no money, so all your food and stuff's free. And all those people who entertain you and show you the Ferraris all get closer to going to their centres of excellence. But that centre of excellence system is actually next. So I won't go into that. I'll wait for the I'll wait for that. So that's actually the next on the list. How they reward people basically who do stuff for the planet. So yeah, when they go out, everyone goes home. Everyone gets to go to their centre of excellence. This person goes home healthy. They want to cure him, and not only that, they'll be saying, finding out why he got the disease in the first place, because they want to go and find out what happened and deal with that. It's not a money thing, you see, because they don't want people coming in this end really. Now, because they can sit at home, do nice things. Remember, all the other planets except this one are heading for 100% unemployment. 100% unemployment. For instance, let's just say a group of plumbers in an area get 3 jobs come in. They go and do those as quick as they can, but they want to do them as well as they can so they don't have to go back. Then, when all the jobs are done, all their percentages go bang to the top, automatically. And they just all jump in their transports and go to their centres of excellence. And probably stay there if they want to until, until another job comes in. Or go home. It's just so simple. So health, that's health for you. So we've got, you rule out a lot of diseases. Now, the other thing, health. If you've got a contagious disease spreading, like we've got at the moment with this coronavirus, which is probably a lot worse than they're telling us, they don't want people panic buying. That's the problem. And buying gas masks and stuff like that. Now, what happens is, in all these planets, they get rid of all the colds and the flu, because they've all got them. If you've got oxygen, and you're breathing, then you're going to get, there'll be something there wanting to live off you. So, what they do, they get everybody to buy enough food for a week, and everyone has to sit at home for 1 week, or however long the disease can survive for without transmitting to another person. Maybe double it. So everyone's there for, say, a week in their house. Nobody gets in contact with anybody except by phone. Plenty to do. You've got all your entertainment and everything. You can go out as long as you don't speak to anybody for that 1 week. You've got all your food. All those diseases are eliminated. Totally. You might get the odd couple of viruses survive, and a couple of thousand viruses, and basically infect again. But you just do that again. You all hide for 1 week. You can't do that in this system we've got, because you've got to earn the money to get the food, for the mortgage and the loans, and and all that money for your mortgage and your loans and all that, all the interest is all going to the top 1% who lent the money to the banks in the first place. So and they've got us where they want us. You've got to keep going. So that 1 week health break can't exist on this planet at the moment. You have to go money free first, and all be in separate abodes, all be in our have our houses all ready. But of course, you need to do anything doing to your house, or a house built, or you want to move house. You get on the mobile, say, I want to move to, I've got a job there now, I need a, and the next day you're off. None of this waiting 3 months for a solicitor to sign a, none of that, and get money and all the things with money and dodgy, which I'll go into later with the Centres of Excellence. So yeah, that's their health system. Like I say, they're never very busy because they've eliminated most of it, either genetically, by isolation, and having the right stuff to eat. So that's your health system. And like I say, all the hospitals are built underground, so at the top is vegetation. So you go come in with your buggy into what would be, that's underground too, it'd be in a station, get out. The buggy is going to, here, if you get ill, you can't drive. There, if you can scramble into your buggy and say hospital, that's all you have to do. It takes you. And you can even say what symptoms you've got, and it'll take you to the hospital with the right symptoms. I've just made that up, by the way. That wasn't on the on the system. So yeah, I think that's probably it for health. Even though it's only what are we at? 14 minutes. I usually try and talk for half an hour. So, but you can switch off now if you like. Well, in fact, I'm going to switch off too because there really isn't anything. It's that simple. Like I say, a lot of the airborne viruses are completely gone. There's nothing. They've got lots of other things as well, especially stuff that's come from other planets, on goods and things. That's another very dangerous subject. You know, quarantine is absolutely... They can't just get off and hand you a box, because that's got all their viruses on, which you probably haven't got the immunity for. A bit like, you know, the old story of when you get the UFO films, where they've died of the common cold. You know, that's very, very real, I'm afraid. Because they haven't built up the immune system on a different planet. So that's it. Right, okay, thanks a lot.